What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at a new speaker from Tribit. This is the XSound Plus 2, which is a waterproof portable Bluetooth speaker. If you aren't familiar with Tribit, definitely look into them as they're one of my favorite speaker brands. I own quite a few different speakers from Tribit, and one of my all-time favorite speakers is still the Stormbox Blast. Overall, just great sounding speakers that also come at really good prices. So taking a look inside the box, you have the user manual, your charging cable, which is a USB-A to USB-C cable. And then last but not least, you have the speaker itself, which also has a lanyard strap on it as well. So taking a look at the speaker itself, overall it's a very simple looking speaker. You got your metal grill in front, Tribit logo in the center, buttons on top. Coming around back, you have your vent for the passive radiator, and then you have your ports here. Picking up the speaker, this does have a nice heft to it. Feels very well made, feels very durable. Doesn't feel heavy by any means, but it just feels like a nice, good feeling in your hand. Looking at the weight, this is only 1.76 pounds. Like I said, it feels very good quality. When it comes to Tribit speakers, for me, these are tried and true, tested to be durable and last. This is my Tribit Stormbox Micro. I've had this speaker a little over 4 years now. This is my e-bike speaker, so I have this on my bars every time. When I first put it on there, I was strapping this way too tight onto my bike, and I hit some few potholes and it popped off. No fault to the speaker, it's just my own wrongdoing. But as you can see, this popped off and flew into the street. This went tumbling on my bike. I was going maybe 20 miles per hour, so this popped off, went tumbling in the street, got beat up. I was certain it was going to be dead. As you can see, it has some damage here, some more scuffs up here. But throughout this time, it's been about 2 years since that's happened. This speaker is still going strong, still has great battery life, and just a very dependable speaker. Based off the experience from this speaker, I am 100% sold when it comes to the build quality of Tribit speakers. All right, so coming back to the XSound Plus 2, this is an IPX7 waterproof speaker, so you can use this outside in the snow, in a pool. Won't be any issues, still going to play and not have any problems with that. So looking at the top, we have our power button, Bluetooth button, volume up and down, also track forward and back, play and pause, EQ button, and then over here you have your link button, so you can pair these in true wireless stereo mode. I also have a second one of these speakers. I bought two of them. So I'll be showing you how this sounds with one speaker, and then I'll also connect the second one so you can see how this sounds with two of them as well. Coming around back, we have the ports here, which are protected by this little rubber flap. And under that, we have a USB-C charging port and an auxiliary port. And as I said earlier, you have this vent here, and then you just have this XSound Plus 2 logo here on the other side. Coming to the bottom here, we have the battery specifications. As you can see here, we have two 2400 milliamp batteries, so a total of 4800 milliamps. And according to the specs, this has up to 24 hours of playtime if you are listening at 60% volume with X bass off. So even if you have this at full blast, we still should get anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, which is more than enough battery life for anyone to listen to music and have it last you the majority of the day. So looking at the front here, hopefully you can see this behind the grill, but we have two full range drivers right here at the side. Let me try to angle this so you can see it. And then right here in the middle, you can see we have that passive radiator. This is a total of 30 watts, so you have 15 watts going to each speaker. When it comes to connectivity, this has Bluetooth 5.3. This is the newest Bluetooth that speakers have right now, and this is going to give you better range, better battery life, and better audio quality compared to older Bluetooth versions. And according to the specs, this has up to 150 feet of range when it comes to the Bluetooth connectivity. That's quite the distance, so you could be across a large park. As long as there's a clear line of sight, you should be able to connect to this speaker and not have any connectivity issues. So looking at the top of the box real quick, some of the main specs they have here. So as I said earlier, IPX7 waterproof, Bluetooth 5.3, hands-free calling. So this does have a built-in microphone so you can take and make calls from here. 24 hours of playtime, 3 custom sound modes, and that's only what's included in the speaker. You can also get more sound profiles from the app. I'll show you that later on. And then you also have, as I said earlier, Bluetooth pairing. So you can connect another one of these speakers and get a true wireless stereo. All right, I think that about covers all the specifications for the speaker. Let me go ahead and get this connected and I'll show you how this sounds. So before I play the audio real quick, I want to show you on this EQ button, it has EQ off, then it has this white light, and then the blue light. So there's 3 different profiles built into the speaker. I'll go ahead and cycle these through, and I'll give you my thoughts on how they sound as well. This is the speaker at about 80% volume. A little more bass heavy track here. Let's go ahead and crank it to 100%. One thing I want to point out, even though I cranked it all the way to 100%, there's no audible distortion, which is always a good thing. With a cheap speaker, they just throw in an amp and they don't really mess with the equalization and make sure that 100% is actually a good playable 100%. But this, you can see they fine-tuned it, and at 100% volume, it still sounds like a good speaker. Alright, so as you can see here, I now have the second speaker, and to link this up is very simple. Just click on this button here, click on that on this one.
Serial mode, left channel.
And as you can see, it now connected and it even tells you which one is left and which one is right. So let's go ahead and play this again and see how it sounds with 2 of them now. Down to about 80% volume, as 100% is a little too loud, probably gonna clip the microphone. Before we move on to the next track, I do want to say these are synced very, very well. Sometimes when you have these true wireless speakers, they'll be slightly off by like a millisecond or 2, and you kind of hear like a delay between both speakers. But this sounds just as good as any stereo actually wired up speakers. So definitely happy with the performance of that. And so far, to me, this speaker sounds best, at least for this kind of music, when the white light is on. And when you change the equalizer on 1, as you can see, it automatically syncs up and changes them both as well. So nice little feature there. Let's go ahead and get back to some more sound tests. Alright, so overall, I am definitely impressed with these speakers. The amount of bass they have truly defies the size. Given how small this is, I wouldn't expect it to have as much bass as it does. I mean, it has good bass on its own, but as soon as you pair them into this true wireless stereo mode, man, do these things really come to life. I was planning on buying some speakers for a new office computer setup I'm getting. I'm just going to use these 2. These sound really, really great. I am honestly truly impressed at how good these speakers sound. Like I said before, I've always been a big fan of Tribit speakers, and one thing they always do is impress me. I came into these speakers with high expectations already, but even then, they just impress me even more. It's very full sound. Equalization sounds very good. Like I said earlier, that white light equalization, which is a bass boost most likely, sounds the best to me. But if you're looking for a more chill and relaxing listen, then definitely have the EQ off, and that gives you more of a flat profile. Again, if you can swing it, definitely get two of these. Sounds great on its own, but as soon as you link up that true wireless stereo, syncs up very well, and you get a true stereo imaging, which also gives you a much wider sound stage as well. So when you have this in true wireless stereo, honestly, if these were covered and I wasn't looking, I would think this was a much larger speaker setup than what they are. It would be great if I could play these speakers for somebody and just cover them and not show them. I'm pretty sure they would think they were a lot larger than this size. And it's very impressive how far speakers like this have come over the years. I remember my first speaker of this comparable size was something like a JBL Flip 3. And don't get me wrong, it was a good sounding speaker, but when it comes to like how big the sound sounds and the bass output, this is light years ahead of that. It just really defies its small size. I don't know what else to say. I am just very, very impressed with these. Way more impressed than I thought I was going to be. Alright, so taking a look at the app, this is what it looks like. I'm very familiar with this app since, like I said earlier, I own quite a few different Tribit speakers, but it's an overall simple and easy to use app. So right here I have the speaker, you just click on that, and right here to show you your battery percentage, you have your volume, your media controls, and then right down here you have your equalizer. So right now you can see equalizer off, that's when the light is off. X bass, that's the white light, like I said earlier, the bass boost option. I like that one the most and how this speaker sounds. And then the third one is audiobook, which didn't sound good for music, but now I see why it's meant for audiobooks, and that'll give you more treble and more clarity on the voice. And then besides that, you have a few more different equalizers here that are preset. But if you come over here, you have a customization option. You can name your EQ. I'll just put whatever for now. And as you can see, you have a full equalizer here with several bands on it. So you can go ahead and fine tune your audio to get it sound however you like. I'm not that much of an expert when it comes to tuning speakers, so this is probably something I'm not going to play with. But if you're someone that's good with calibrating speakers and getting the right frequencies to how you want them to sound, maybe you have some calibration software where you can see where it has peaks and dips and then fix those out and get them to how you want it. This would be a good thing to play with. If not, these presets here definitely sound great on their own as well. Overall, I am definitely happy with the performance of this speaker. It sounds nice and clear, has good bass, and best of all, it's very affordable compared to its competition as well. Even if it wasn't affordable, I would still recommend this over any JBL Flip or Charge speaker. So if you happen to be shopping for a Bluetooth speaker around this size and wattage, I would highly recommend taking a look at this one here, which again is the Tribit XSound Plus 2. All right, well, that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.